My name is Adam Andrzejewski. I'm the CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com. And welcome to this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week. The richest places in America receiving massive subsidies on coronavirus bailouts. Before we get into the details on the topic, I just want to review the mission of OpenTheBooks.com. It's every dime online in real time. We empower you with the hard data necessary to hold the political class accountable for their tax and spend decisions. And last year, to that end, our team filed 41,500 Freedom of Information Act requests. And together, we've become the world's largest database of government expenditures. Before we get into the topic on the richest places across America receiving these massive bailouts, I want to welcome my co-host, Tamara Colbert.
Good evening. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing great, Tamara.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So I think the first place to start is tell us what the HEROES Act is and what's going on with the 50 richest towns in America or cities in America.
So the HEROES Act was passed in the U.S. House. Nancy Pelosi, as Speaker, passed the HEROES Act. She crafted it. It was $2.2 trillion of coronavirus bailout. That was back in May. It sits in the United States Senate where Mitch McConnell has not called the bill. But what was troubling was in the ramp up to the November election, the president actually said that he would negotiate with Pelosi on up to $1.8 trillion, on up to $2 trillion. Now that didn't happen. But nevertheless, we want to make sure you know what's in that bill. And as a part of the HEROES Act is a $1 trillion bailout of the 50 states. And of that, about $400 billion of the $1 trillion would go to 40,000 municipalities across the country. Our auditors sliced off the 50 richest towns. And today we're going to tell you how much money that they would receive and are allocated within the HEROES Act.
So what are we talking? Start naming towns. Last week, we had a tremendous response from our viewers, and we were interacting with them even after our Facebook Live because it was really, they were just so intrigued and wanted to know about their city. So give us examples of these 50 wealthiest or richest cities that you Open the Books and your auditors found.
So first off, the top 50 richest cities, collectively, they would receive $350 million out of the HEROES Act of coronavirus bailouts. These are subsidies to the richest places across the country. Look, there's no public purpose for that. They can pay their own way. And for example, the number one most wealthy town in America, according to Bloomberg, on the Bloomberg list, is Atherton, California. And this is a San Francisco suburb. It's about 20 miles outside of San Francisco, the city of San Francisco. It's right in the Silicon Valley. It's where Steph Curry, the basketball star, bought a $31 million mansion. It is where the founder of the WhatsApp, when he sold out, he bought a $57 million mini compound in Atherton. This is the rich. This is the famous. The average pay in this town, the average household income is $525,000. They would receive $3.8 million out of the Pelosi HEROES Act of coronavirus bailout subsidy.
That is unbelievable. So we know Atherton, we got to do some name dropping here. What are some other cities that people might recognize? I think I know one in Texas.
Well, let's just go to Scarsdale, New York, because everyone knows the name Beyonce and Jay-Z. And they actually purchased a home in Scarsdale, New York. It is the wealthiest community on the East Coast. And Scarsdale, New York would get $8.8 million of coronavirus bailout. I mean, you can't make these things up. You're forcing working and middle-class taxpayers from around the country to bail out these wealthy towns to the tune of $350 million for the 50 most wealthiest communities.
So Adam, I was looking at the report, and I know our producer is going to post the link to the Forbes article that came out this week that you put out there. I know that Highland Park Texas received $4.5 million. I wonder, Adam, if that's because former President George W. Bush resides there.
So I encourage everyone to go to our Forbes article on this. Just Google 50 wealthiest places and coronavirus bailout. It'll come right up, or just hit the link in the comments. But we've got to get the president's family in that Forbes piece. We got focused. That's where Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, lives.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
yes.
in Highland Park, Texas, the average household income is $365,000, and as you mentioned, they would receive, of our money, they would receive $4.5 million. There's no public
right, and the
purpose to
wealthy
that.
of the wealthy, the celebrities in the Dallas area, they live there. It's most of it is kind of gated. That's where the shops are. So that I can tell you, Highland Park does not need $4.5 million of coronavirus relief. My goodness, Jerry Jones could write a check tomorrow for that amount. So it's totally crazy. Now, is there a map? How can people find out about this? I guess the best way is to go to the Forbes article that they're going to see the link right below. And last week also, we had a map, Adam, that you referenced earlier in our discussion related to counties, and that in the 40,000, was it counties in America?
So every single county in America is in this database. Most substantial public bodies at the municipal level are also in the database. 39,000 entities are in that database. And everybody watching this wanted to know how much their community was going to get. So we did. We mapped it all. There's 50 pins, one pin for each state, and then the units of government are in alphabetical order. So you can just click your state pin, and then scroll down to see how much your community is going to get out of Nancy Pelosi's, if it passes the Senate, out of this bailout bill. Look, we had the 46th most wealthy community in America today. Their finance director in Lake Forest, Illinois, she saw our Forbes piece. She reached out to us and wanted to fact check the numbers. She couldn't believe how much money that Lake Forest would be getting. So whether you're a government administrator or a taxpayer, this is valuable information. And then call your member of Congress. Keep those U.S. senators off of this bill.
Absolutely. I'm looking, there's several comments here, a lot of comments actually, people wanting to know about their county. So again, just to reiterate what Adam said, you can go to openthebooks.com. You can click on the interactive map, as he just said, click on your state, and you can scroll down alphabetically to find your county, your city in all of that data. And then if you want to look at the 50 wealthiest counties getting coronavirus relief from Nancy Pelosi's Heroes Act, that you can find easily in the Forbes article, that also the link is posted here on the site. Adam, I'll give you the last word. What can they do to make sure that these investigations keep going on behalf of the American taxpayer?
Well, the reason that Washington, D.C. is so corrupt is because right in our own backyards, our municipal, our local units of government are corrupt, and then it just matriculates all the way to the nation's capital. So raise your voice. Ask your municipality whether they would accept the allocation of this bailout money. We need to keep our local units off of that gravy train.
Absolutely. You guys go to openthebooks.com, sign up. You can contribute. You can contribute every month. You can contribute one time, but we can't do this without you. And I have to reiterate, Open the Books does not take any paycheck protection money. We are 100% financed by the American taxpayer, and we want it that way. Adam, okay, next Thursday, I know we're going to have another breaking report. Do you want to give us a little sneak peek?
No, all this, right up until the end of the year, we have breaking news. We are stacked with oversight, and we look forward to breaking it right here on our weekly segment of the Rip Off of the Week.